Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Ruchak Wadash, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, as well as double honor to their elders. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 prisoners for without truth and sincerity, as well as peace and blessings to all the believers of Yahushai. And just want to do a quick lesson going into, the Revelation 13 and 16. All roads lead to the mark of the beast. And, we're seeing this build up, everything going digitally, the money, everything. Soon it's going to be, you got to get this chip, which is the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, So I got an article here I saw on End Time Headlines, but then I went back to where they got it from. They got it from USA Today. It was posted April 29th, 2025. So we're going to read through this and get, a few precepts, and that'll be a lesson. And so lock in advance. I'm still dealing with this toothache. It's kind of hard to speak. But it says, Lord willing, let's be edifying to the point. Let's get into it. It says, this from USA Today. It says, your Social Security card will soon be available digitally. What to know about the change. And why is everything going digital? Because, everything is leading towards that chip. Soon come, you ain't gonna have no choice but to take this chip or be X'd out of society, or be killed. But, it's provision set out for the elect, We're gonna have to be dependent upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai during that time for what we're gonna eat, clothes, shelter, all those things, And it's gonna be provided, as it says in Matthew the 6th chapter. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai knows all these things that we need. But let's continue reading a little bit out of this. It says a new digital alternative to the traditional Social Security card will be available by early summer. The Social Security Administration announced Friday. So by this early summer, things are moving quick. There ain't no telling, what the end, what the rest of this year entails. Lord willing, they bring out the MOTB and then that's gonna speed up, everything, all the prophecies. It says, I'm not gonna read all of this. It's another point I want to read down here. It says we are proud to offer this new digital solution to our account holders. This enhancement reflects our commitment to providing better service to the public while ensuring that their personal information remains secure, said Lee Dudek, the agency's acting commissioner, said in an April 25th news release. We believe that this modern approach will meet the needs of our constituents in a more efficient manner. It's always about more efficiency, And let's read this little paragraph down here. It says this digital feature not only streamlines. You're always gonna see that word when they trying to push something digital. This is gonna streamline. It's gonna make it this more efficient, more convenient for you, And it's a damn lie, Esau, his words are smoother than butter. This digital feature not only streamlines the process for those who need their Social Security number, but also reinforces our dedication to protecting sensitive information. It says, according to the Social Security Administration, by providing a secure digital option, SSA aims to reduce the risk of lost or stolen cards and enhance the overall user experience. And this is nothing but a bunch of damn lies. They say, so now the Social Security is going digital now, but in a sense it was already digital, because back in 2023, it says, this is from ABC News 5, huge data breach involving Social Security numbers could impact millions of America. So that was a huge data breach of, the Social Security numbers for millions of Americans. It says over 270 million Americans may have had their Social Security number leaked on the dark web. Let's play this video. But so this is all a bunch of bullshit, Eventually, you're gonna have your Social Security number gonna be within that chip. Everything, all your personal info is gonna be within the chip, This is where we're headed to. So let me play this, and then we'll get to the scriptures, and that'll be a lesson.
Nearly 3 billion Americans may have had extremely sensitive information, including Social Security numbers, stolen by hackers. And you may not even know if you are a victim of this recent hack. News 5's Jeff Left Coolidge spoke with a cybersecurity expert on what you can do to stay protected.
272 million Americans. That's a huge number, and that's the number of Americans that may have had their Social Security number leaked on the dark web. I'm News 5's Jeff Left Coolidge outside the Social Security Administration office here in Lakewood, and we have tips for you tonight on how you can protect yourself. Data breaches are on the rise across the country, and for Clevelanders, it's a concern. The latest breach involving National Public Data, a background check company.
Because like Social Security number is used for everything. I go get a job, I need Social Security. I sign for a credit card, they need Social Security.
I mean, I think it's scary. I don't want anything mine stolen.
National Public Data released details last month of the incident, which is believed to involve a third party that was trying to hack into its data in late 2023, with potential leaks of certain data involving names, email addresses, phone numbers, Social Security numbers, and mailing addresses in April and this summer.
This is clearly one of the largest breaches that we've seen, just based on the pure volume of personal data and records that have been compromised and exposed.
Cybersecurity expert Steve Stransky says this kind of breach is different because it involves Social Security numbers, and the damage can be extensive if it's not caught early.
So unfortunately, when a threat actor or a criminal has access to an individual's Social Security number, there's a lot of different accounts and accounts that they could access and open in the consumer's name in order to get funds from those accounts.
Stransky says if you suspect you are a part of the breach, the first step is to freeze your credit to minimize the damage.
Making a credit freeze is something that is free to do. It's available to consumers, and it would essentially prevent others, third parties in this circumstance, criminals, malicious actors, from opening credit lines in their name.
We met this man walking Playhouse Square Saturday afternoon. He told us he's been a victim of identity theft in the past.
People don't realize how vulnerable they are.
And he says the feds had to fix it, and it wasn't easy.
Difficult, because it's affecting my job.
Other people we talked to believe more has to be done to protect our most private information.
I think maybe in this election we might need to have more of a focus on Social Security in general, right?
Now, if you have any question as to whether your identity or Social Security number has been leaked online, the Social Security Administration has put this out on their website. It's a one-stop shop. If you have any question, you can also find it on our website, news5cleveland.com. In Lakewood, I'm Jeff Left Coolidge for News 5.
So what can you do if you want to know if your Social Security number is at risk? Back in August, National Public Data said it's cooperating with law enforcement and governmental investigators.
That's all I'll play from there. But as you can see, this whole Social Security card will soon be available digital. This is not the solution that they're coming with. The solution that they're going to come with is that chip, because once again, it was already a breach, involving Social Security numbers. So it still could be a breach within this whole, oh, we're going to make it digital now. Just got to sign up on our website or whatnot and BS, So let's get into the scriptures now. Revelation 13, straight to the point. Revelation 13, verse 16. And he calls it all. And who's that he? Speaking about the beast, NATO and the EU, which is America's a part of that. And who's at the top of all of this? Those elite banking families. They're calling the shots. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. You see, so everybody is going to have to take this, whether you're low in society, high in society, rich or poor, you're incarcerated, or you live in a so-called free life here in America. Everybody. It says to receive a mark in their right hand. You go into that word mark. It's charagma. G5480, charagma, under outline of biblical usage, says a stamp and imprinted mark. Definition 2, it says thing carved, sculpture, a graven work. You see, you're going to have to physically dig into your body, as the Yuval Noah Harari said, they want to go under the skin. They want to be able to know what you're thinking and shit like that. That's the part in your forehead. But let's go to the root word from not root word from charagma, which is charax, G5482, charax. It says, under outline of biblical usage, a pale or stake, a palisade. This is going to the delivery instrument when you get that chip within your hand, that syringe. That's what's going to put it there. And then, the root word from charax, G1125, graphone. Under outline of biblical usage, you see definition 2:4 says to write to one, i.e. by writing in a written epistle, to give information, directions. So it's going to hold all your information, everything in your wallet, now including your Social Security number, you're going to have that chip within you, wherever you're at, you're trying to get into the hospital. Well, we need to scan your chip, get all your information off you, get everything that we need. That's what this grapho is going into. All your information, banking information, is going to be withholding on that chip, So we read this verse 16 again and keep going. And he called it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. You got companies for the right hand, like Wallet More over there in Sweden and shit. You got companies over that the big company Neuralink for that chip in your forehead, but also Neuralink, that's like the poster child for brain computer interfaces. But guess what? BlackRock has been doing this for over 25 years, testing in humans for over 25 years. So guess what? This prophecy is already ready to be fulfilled. They already know, what the consequences of putting this in humans, and the effects of it and what they can do. They're just putting Elon Musk on the forefront to, I don't even know, just to woo the people, I guess. But let's keep going. Revelation 13:17, that no man might buy or sell. And this is not talking about how IUIC pushes, corporations and companies, whatever the hell they saying, They, man, don't listen to that group, man. The chip is the mark of the beast. And, it's talking about, individuals taking it, people, the people of the earth. Why would the Heavenly Father be concerned about damn corporations and companies, man? Why would this be written? It's just stupid. So in that no man, woman, or child might buy or sell, save he that had the mark. You're going to have that chip. You're going to have that chip in order to buy and sell. This is where, the world is going, because this is a global thing. As we probably get Revelation 3:10 next. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So you're not going to be able to participate in society unless you have that chip. It says, or the name of the beast, and the name of the beast is simply having that chip within you. Now you have Esau Edom's name upon you. You let this man penetrate you. Now he's became your God instead of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. It says, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600,306. Going into the universal product code, you see that barcode on all the back of your, products in the store. Let's just get a quick on Google. You see, let's see, where is it? Here it is. See these left guard bars here on the barcode, that represents the number 6. The 2 center bars, that's another 6, and then the right guard bars, that's another 6. 666, and that's what's also going to be contained within that, that grain of rice. Or that it's about the size of the stack of quarters if you're getting that that brain computer interface. It's going to have that 666 number within it. So let's go from here to Revelation 3:10. As I said, this is a global thing. It's not just here in America, but everywhere. It's it's preparing to do this. Like I said, Sweden, they heavy on the chip. They got whole chipping parties and shit. But slowly but surely, and Lord willing, quicker than like I said, and we don't know how the rest of this year is gonna turn out. But Lord willing, they push this, and push it mandatory. So this is Revelation 3:10, red letter, Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, because thou hast kept the words of my patience, going into suffering. Patience goes into suffering. We're suffering right now for the namesake of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And, enduring to push this work no matter what, and persecution is going to come upon us. And Lord willing, we're not going to flee during persecution. We're going to continue to have the patience of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and push this word no matter what, and stand firmly for the namesake of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. You see, we're going to be kept during the hour of temptation for doing this work. For holding strong to the faith that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the gift that He's given us. So and what's the hour of temptation? When the MOTB, that microchip, be made mandatory on a global scale. There's gonna be no more, cash, or whatever. It's gonna be strictly, you're gonna have to work through that chip that's within you. If you don't got that within you, then you cut off from society, and you can also be killed. So it says, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. And going to that word world, it's oikoumene, speaking about the whole inhabited earth. G 3625, oikoumene, under outline of book use, just says the inhabited earth. In definition 3 and 4 says the whole inhabited earth, the world, the inhabitants of the earth, men. See, it's talking about the people. Now let's get the judgment for this, and we'll end it out. So this is the judgment for taking that chip. Doom for worshippers of the beast. Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and what's the image of the beast? That old, basically a photocopy of the Western Roman Empire. Their policies that they had back then during the Roman Empire, a Senate house, one to rule over the people. America does has the same way. We have a Senate house today, one person to rule over the people every 4 years. As well as look at the structure, the buildings back then in ancient Rome. Look at the capitals all over America. Why is it a photocopy, of Rome? Why did they structure build the buildings like that? This is just the revised Roman Empire. Say the beast that had a deadly wound, but was healed. Roughly paraphrasing. So that's the image of the beast. The old image of the Roman Empire in America. That image is speaking through the policies that America pushes. And the third, so Revelation 14:9 from the top again, the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worships the beast and his image, and there's, many more similarities to the image, we got the bread and circus, all that shit was happening back then in Rome, even, like shopping malls and shit, that was all in Rome as well. So if any man worships the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, that chip, that microchip, it says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, into the cup of his righteous anger, man. We don't want to feel the righteous anger of Yahweh by Shem Shai, As the scriptures say, it's let me get it right quick, we can go right back to that. Hebrews 10:31. Hebrews 10:31, it said, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. You see, we don't want to fall into the hands of Yahweh Shem Shai for evil, We want to fall into his hands for protection, and be covered by him. So going back to Revelation 14:10, it says, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. You see, Yahweh Shai and the angels are going to come in the chariots, which the world ignorantly calls UFOs and UAPs. Hey, we know what they are. Those are the vehicles of the angels, They're going to be shooting laser beams upon this place. It says fire and brimstone. As well as 200 million nuclear warheads, hitting America, the shores of America, and destroying this place from sea to sea. There will be nothing left here in America. So this is the judgment, for taking that mark. Nothing but destruction. As well as a grievous sore. We'll end it there. In Revelation 16:2. Revelation 16:2, it says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. You see, it's going to be known, who the Heavenly Father is going to make it known who took that mark. You ain't going to be able to hide. You're going to have a grievous sore upon you. A pus-filled sore. It's going to be obvious, now he took it. Man, we're going to stay away from you, We're going to be like, nah, you're destined for destruction because there's no repenting. So that's why, it's crucial to tell the people what exactly is the mark of the beast. Once again, the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, radio frequency identification chip. But I'm going to end it there. Lord willing, this was edifying to the point. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakodash, double honor to the apostle, and that was a great millstone, rule well. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, preaching this word without truth and sincerity. Shalom.